making music for us. They're just making music for us. She was a woman so big with love, she would laugh out loud and stomp out loud and say, "It's me making the building shake. Don't you be afraid, children. Don't you let them scare you." My brothers and sisters of Cambridge, my friends, peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for coming out here to dedicate your time to this important cause, the cause of the Palestinians. Every year on the 15th of May, the Palestinians around the world remember the Nakba, or catastrophe. On the 15th of May in 1948, Zionist forces declared the State of Israel established, immediately after the British mandate on Palestine ended. How did they do this? By destroying 530 Palestinian villages and by displacing and forcibly removing 750,000 Palestinian residents. 15,000 Palestinians were killed. The Nakba is a huge violation of human rights. It is a crime against humanity. Yet every single year, the mainstream media fail to tell you about it. We, as citizens of Cambridge, as believers in human rights, as anti-racists, we come out here today, along with millions across the world, to make it clear the Nakba will never be forgotten. But the Nakba is not just one day, it is not a single event that came and went. 75 years ago, Palestinians live the Nakba every single day of their lives. There are an estimate 6 million registered Palestinian refugees in 58 camps across the world. Many of these refugees have the keys to the homes that they were evicted from. They still have those keys, waiting to return home. As for those Palestinians who stay, there are 140 military checkpoints in the occupied West Bank, restricting the Palestinians' rights to freedom of movement. There are hundreds of homes destroyed by Israelis, demolished every single year. Just this week, a Palestinian school was demolished by the Israelis for the second time in a row. The Israelis destroyed it once, the Palestinians came out and rebuilt the school, and then the Israelis came back this week and destroyed it again. There are currently 4,900 political prisoners. Just last week, Khader Adnan died in Israeli prison after 87 days of hunger strike. This was the 12th time he had been arrested. Worshippers, for example, in Al-Aqsa Mosque, are repeatedly met with violence from the Israeli military, as we saw just last Ramadan. And Israel has killed more than 4,000 men, women and children in their assaults on the Gaza Strip. Just this week they killed 30 more. This is what the Nakba means for the Palestinians. This is the horrors that it means for the Palestinians. This is the bloodshed, the terror and the heartbreak that the Nakba means for the Palestinians. This is why we come out here today with our kafirs, our placards and our Palestine flags. This is why we stand in solidarity with Palestine. The Nakba represents a fundamentally racist agenda that began many decades before 1948 and has continued for the 75 years afterwards. Israel is founded on the Zionist agenda. The Zionist agenda which demands for the Palestinians to be removed from their land to make way for an ethnic state for the Jewish people. Currently, a Jew can go to Palestine and can move into a home previously owned by a Palestinian who has been forcibly removed from their home. And that Jew can live in Jewish-only streets, in a Jewish-only neighborhood, in a nation that treats Jews as first-class citizens and non-Jews as second-class citizens. No matter what the media tries to do to spin the narrative, it is very clear. This is settler-colonialism. This is apartheid. Every single serious human rights organization in the world, be they Amnesty International or Israel's own B'Tselem, they all recognize that Israel is guilty of the crime of apartheid. There can be no peace with a settler-colonial nation. There can be no peace with an apartheid nation. There can be no peace with a fascist nation. We come out here to stand, as do millions across the world, with our Palestinian brothers and sisters, to demand for an end to the occupation, to demand for the right of the Palestinians to return to their homes, and to demand for a nation where none are treated differently based on their race or creed. We will not stop until Palestine is free from the rivers to the sea. Palestine will be free from the rivers to the sea. Palestine will be free from the rivers to the sea.
Palestine will be free
From the rivers to the sea.